Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two dumb Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Yeah, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the Two Dumb Yinzers, everybody. This is episode 826 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. And I was just thinking, like, we were only just a little over a month, a little bit more than that, but Thanksgiving is going to be right around the corner. And as you remember, we remember last year we gave everybody Thanksgiving names, and turkey, and Derpy was turkey. His mic's off.
Yes, I remember. Yes, you could have let me go and just like had a whole conversation without me telling my mic was on and just see how far.
Well, I was going to, but I didn't want to bore everybody. We'd all just be like miming. But yes,
being Shador, where do you think Shador Sanders got it from?
You were Abel or something like that. You and Finch both had pilgrim names. We named Derpy Turkey. And that is where my alter ego, Chief Hunlow, came from. Like, we were just a little over 1 month away from the Thanksgiving, and it's going to be 2026 before you know it. It's pretty unbelievable, actually. Mike, that's what happens when you can't wait and you just wait and wait for football season to come. The year tends to fly by pretty quick.
Yeah, yes, it does. God, pretty soon it'll be Christmas.
Yeah, Derpy, you already working on your Christmas list, man?
Yeah.
Are you?
I'm hoping for a win tomorrow night, so that's my Christmas gift.
You want the local your high school football team. You want them to do well. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Cool. Do you still go down and do statistics in that?
Yeah, I still do it with my father.
Nice. That's a good time, man.
The last 20 years.
Have you really?
Yep.
Jeez. Good morning, everybody.
It's pretty fun after doing it.
Yeah, man, that's good. You've been doing it for 20 years. What are you, 29?
Yeah.
Good morning to everybody. Welcome back to the show. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Corey. Good morning, Jamal. Everybody, Corey. Richard says, good morning. Good afternoon. Corey says, welcome, Derpy. Look at that. A little,
yes.
Saying hi to Derpy. Yo, Jamal, what's up, my brother? How you doing today, sir? He
Great.
says, appreciate you, Corey, for your comments on the page. And him and Corey are helping grow each other's show. Again, go check both of those shows out every Friday. A brand new Don't Drink That. Corey Beaver's conspiracy theory show. I got to tell you, I'm into that. And also Jamal's show, I'm very interested in as well. Talking trash with the Steelers gang. I always sneak in under the radar and watch. I do because again, Mike, to get to this point where I'm camera ready and actually look like a normal human being, it takes me quite a while in the morning. So by the time Jamal comes on later in the day, I'm a total wreck. I'm like a woman who's taking her makeup off, and it's not pretty. So, but I do got to say, I do swing over there. And I watched Jamal, and he doesn't even know I'm there. So that's what's going on.
So you're creeping on Jamal. You're stalking Jamal. You're hiding in the bushes watching Jamal.
I am really.
Tis the season
And I gotta be.
to be
Tis
stalky.
the season. And this is Brownies week, guys, or as Derpy was saying, it's Clowns week, and it's we're almost there. It's crazy because after that we only have 4 days till the Cincinnati Bengals game, and that game just got more interesting this week, I'd have to say. But I do want to say to everybody this morning, good morning. How are ya? I hope all is well. This is the Thursday installment of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Let's get into it. Mike, before we do start, the Pittsburgh Penguins are taking their undefeated 1-0 record back out on the ice tonight. They will be hosting the New York Islanders for the second game of the year. Mike, this team is on pace for 82-0, and the goalie is on pace for a lot of saves. Has it go the same way that game one went? Probably not, but Mike, the Islanders, undefeated Penguins, looking a little bit better this year than they finished last year. You got to like it.
Gotta like it, and new coaching staff, a lot of young players, farewell tour for some of the vets probably. I think Crosby still probably has another good 10 years in him, so by the time he's ready to hang him up, this team will be winning some more Stanley Cups.
Yeah, man. So check that out tonight. That is at 7 o'clock at PPG Arena right downtown. Check out the Penguins hosting the New York Islanders. Also, don't forget Sunday nights. Check out between the 4 o'clock game, whenever they finish, and the 8 o'clock game. Derpy and Finch. They do the Sunday review show. A lot of fun. Check that out after the game, and then also later on in the night, 9:30. Derpy has his nerd show, the Average Boys podcast. Do check them out as well.
Check them out.
Well, guys, let's get into it. This is Browns week. The Steelers are 4.5-point favorites on 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, right down on the North Shore. The Pittsburgh Steelers will be hosting the Cleveland Browns, guys, in a game that I think it's kind of a pivotal game in the sense that, if everybody was more caught up with you, this wouldn't be the case. If everybody was, it's perfect. This game is a perfect game, and a lot of people I'm seeing, Mike, in the sense that we could really make something of this season. And what I'm seeing a lot of is even on NFL.com, I think that I don't agree with it. I'm going to be honest with you, but what I'm seeing NFL.com, like they have 10 people pick the Steelers to win this weekend, and zero people pick the Browns to win. I don't think the Browns are going to win. I don't either. I don't think the Browns are going to win, but I think this is something that's got to be taken a lot more serious than the Ben years. And what I mean by this is when you played the Browns or the Bengals, or most teams for that matter, when Roethlisberger was here, you kind of chalked things up as a win. And if something didn't happen right or go your way and you lose, it's a trap game. You move on and you got a good quarterback, so life is going to go on. But here we are, Mike. 10-9 is the picks. I think the defense is way too good in Cleveland. This Cleveland team did beat the Green Bay Packers. We have to remember that a few weeks back. The Packers were picked by some people to go to the Super Bowl from the NFC. Also, the team that we beat 24-21, the Browns ended up losing to only by, I think, a touchdown, 21-17, maybe a little less than a touchdown just last week overseas. So, again, I don't feel so comfortable to where I think that we should be reading 10-0 as far as picks, especially by NFL.com. But, Mike, again, kind of going back to what I was saying, when you have Ben Roethlisberger, and because listen, hear me out. We were 10-3 last year.
Yeah.
Never at 10-3 did you feel really great about the team.
Yeah.
They started off with some close wins. Matter of fact, there was only 2 wins in the middle of the season that was really impressive. Excuse me. They were both New York games. They were back-to-back games. It was against the Jets and the Giants. And convincingly, we were able to go up and win those 2 games. And again, at 10-3, you still didn't feel great. Like, as if you would have had Ben Roethlisberger, you were sitting at 10-3, you're thinking we have a chance to make a run. So now we're in a similar situation. We're kind of in between where we were last year and when we had Ben all those years, Mike. And I think that, it's definitely not an automatic game, but you do have an elite style quarterback and a quarterback that's
Yeah.
going to the Hall of Fame. And again, he still has the mind from the neck up, still a lot up there. Last year was Fields. We went into Russell Wilson things. Again, we're going good 10-3. You get into that rough patch against those tough teams, which we are going to have again this year. Hopefully it plays out a little different. But, you can't expect to win football games like this.
Yeah.
Certainly, again, like, those were really good teams. Those were teams that were going to the Super Bowl. This is a team that's trying to climb back up the ladder, and they're sitting at 3-1. And they're lucky that everybody else keeps falling in the division week after week after week. But that being said, I just don't think that you could count these as wins. And again, 10-0 as far as the picks. I don't disagree. I'm just saying, I feel a little uncomfortable thinking that everybody is thinking that. And again, like that makes me uncomfortable. Do I think we could win? Yes. Do I think we're going to win? Yes. But again, this isn't Ben Roethlisberger's Steelers, and I just don't think that it should unanimously be a 10-0 pick by NFL.com standards anyway.
Yeah.
I think somebody should, again, especially a team that just beat Green Bay a few weeks back, a team that only lost by less than a touchdown to a team that we beat by less than a touchdown. So before I hand it over to you guys on the board, what do you guys think would be the Steelers record right now? Right now, if Mason Rudolph or anybody besides Aaron Rodgers was playing quarterback these first 4 games, just throw up. Do you think we'd be 3-1? You got to think of the Jets game. Aaron Rodgers threw 4 touchdowns. You got to put other things into perspective, guys. If this team was not being ran by Aaron Rodgers, throw up on the board. What do you think the record would be right now, getting ready to go into this game? Mike, I'm going to go ahead and pitch it back to you to respond.
Yeah. I don't know why a lot of people are seeing this game as a gimme for the Steelers. As you said, they lost to the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, they had Flacco in that game, but it was a 10-9 game or some shit like that. It was a very low scoring game. You saw what the Browns defense can do and why they're regarded as one of the better units in the NFL. They stifled that Green Bay offense. Green Bay offense is no joke. That's a good team they have over there. They held them in check. If they were to hold that offense in check, what makes you think they can't do that to our offense? Yeah, we've scored over 21 points in a lot of games, but it's a lot of short passes and doing a lot of yak yards. Now you're playing with a team that plays most of their coverage of a single high safety, so they got more guys down in the box, more guys covering that middle of the field. The short to intermediate passes that we love to attack. So that's going to be rough right there. They have really the best rushing defense in the NFL. We have one of the worst rushing attacks in the NFL. So that's going to be hard right there. They have one of the best pass rushers in NFL today, not even just today, but in NFL history, in Myles Garrett. So, and that left side of the line is kind of weak. And where's he going to be attacking from? That left side of the line. So there's things that can go in the Browns' favor. Yes, they have a rookie quarterback. Yes, Mike Tomlin and the Steelers historically have great records against rookie quarterbacks. But he didn't look rattled last week. Now, yeah, that was an overseas game. It was a more neutral site game, way more neutral than the Steelers game. But, he didn't let the moment get to him. So he seems like he's a poised player. Now, can the Steelers is that going to change when he comes into Heinz Field? And Heinz Field is going to be a raucous atmosphere against the Browns. I don't know.
I think this is going to be a playoff atmosphere.
I don't know, dude. I like the way the energy for the crowd and the team on the home opener. I didn't get that vibe that like this is the first game of the year. We're excited to watch some Steeler football. Hopefully that's changed after we're coming off back-to-back wins and a bye week. People are hungry again for football, and it can be a nice raucous atmosphere. I hope it is, and can they get to this cat and get him rattled and see if they can rattle him with some pressure? I don't know. Like the Browns O-line isn't what it used to be. It's not a good unit the way it was about like 4 or 5 years ago, one of the best in the NFL. So if we can get to him and start hitting them, that affects every quarterback. We saw Peyton Manning. We saw Drew Brees, or in Tom Tom Brady, they got rattled when they got hit. So I think this rookie quarterback, if you can hit him, get him rattled, that's going to be huge. But I don't see this game as a game because that defense is really good, and they got enough skill players on offense to where, like against the Jets, one or two of them make a play, and next thing you know, that can swing momentum. And we saw that in the Jets game. Momentum kept swinging back and forth, back and forth.
I
know,
Derpy, let me lateral it back to you. Good morning. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm ready for
All
finals
right.
week.
Derpy, as we're saying, I mean, a lot of, and these are the experts. These are people that do this for a living. And I would say, I don't feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel comfortable, again, with this 10 against none, as far as the NFL.com picking the Steelers to win this football game. I do think the Steelers are going to win. Again, I just don't think we're that team anymore. Yes, we are improved, it seems. Again, it's hard to say on that as well, because we were 10-3 after 13 weeks. Last year, 13 games, and also we were in arm's length of the number one seed at that point until it all fell apart. So I'm going to catch up on some messages because there are some things that are correlating to what I'm trying to say. But I do want to say real quick, Corey says we'd be 2-2. Echelon Motion Pictures, I do want to say welcome. Great seeing you on the board. He's also saying 2-2 at best. And you got to consider, guys, again, we lost Seattle. We beat the Jets by 2 in a game that, again, we needed 4 Aaron Rodgers touchdown passes. And on top of that, Mike, we beat a New England team that just beat Buffalo, that we managed to cause a ton of turnovers against. So let's just say, a few things play out different in that game, that you only win by a couple points. We didn't, win by a big margin in that one. So again, Minnesota would be the only game that I would say that we went out and we won, Mike. And that was because we actually started looking like a real football team again last 2 weeks ago. We started doing all the little things, I think, that didn't have us looking like a real football team for quite some time going into the way last year ended. So again, this game is huge, guys. Again, Mike, I would say maybe 1-3. The guys have 2-2 up on the board, but I think that they're being generous. Again, if you look at things the way they played out, and again, Minnesota, it wasn't a gimme. We had to play tough to win that football game. But again, you don't have Aaron Rodgers back there and you take the step backwards. Are we even having this conversation? I just don't know, Mike, if Mason Rudolph is back there. I'm sorry. But here we are, 3-1 with the opportunity. And again, there are some messages that are going to lead up to this. We're going to get to them in 1 second. But Trey Essex said it, Mike. Trey Essex, your Twitter buddy, he says this. He says if the Steelers want to make a serious run, they want to do something serious this year, you got to beat Cleveland. You got to beat Cincinnati. That's what the good teams would do. Your teams that do go to the playoffs, your teams that are considered contenders, your teams that are doing things in the NFL, they would win these 2 games. Yes, is it going to be tough? Cleveland got a good defense. Yes. Is it going to be tough? Cincinnati now has a somewhat competent quarterback that can get it to their 2 receivers. Yes, but they're totally winnable games. And if the Steelers want to be that team that goes to the next level and is considered a good team and considered a team that is actually considered a contender come January, you have to win these 2 games for a couple reasons. You're going to be sitting at 5-1. That's going to be fantastic. We should get a little bit more help from the division as well. And the other thing, Mike, you win these 2 games, again, you come across as teams that win the games that you should win, opposed to the teams that get tripped up every once in a while. Now, it's going to happen in the NFL. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, it might have just happened to Buffalo the other night. But what I'm saying is, if this Steeler team wants to go to that next tier, if this Steeler team wants to be seen as a team that should be taken serious, you have to win these 2 games. If you lose 1, you lose 2. We'll have that conversation in a couple of weeks. But as of right now, on October 9, this football team has to win these 2 football games, Mike.
Yeah, they have to win. They're must-win games at this point. They're not a powerhouse team to where they can have a slip like this and go, oh shit, man, we lost this game. We should have won. Don't worry, we'll get it back when we, play Buffalo, to where we know we have a really good chance to beat them. Kind of like you saw this like in the Killer B era with the Steelers. Like they would stumble against a bad opponent, but next thing you know, they're going to rattle off 4 or 5 straight wins. And you're like, oh, okay, this team's fine, it's temporary bump in the road. But for the Steelers being an above average team, and you want to make that step up into the good, really good territory, you have to win these next 2 games, because you can't afford any type of setback. You want to keep the ball moving forward and keep progressing forward. You don't want to slip up in games like this. Now a game like against Detroit or Buffalo, if you take a little slip, that's okay because they are a tier above you.
Absolutely.
But these Browns, Bengals, they're a tier two tiers below you.
And you got to agree, Mike.
You got to win these games.
And you got to agree, those are two teams. Those are a couple of teams. If you lose those games, you are okay with it because, again, even in the Ben Roethlisberger years, you didn't win all those games that were high competition. These games that would be equal to the Detroits, the Buffaloes this year. That's understandable. These two next game, and I'm not saying that you have to sweep the orange heads all 4 games this year.
No.
But it would certainly help, and again, it would certainly make the argument a little bit better for anybody that's still doubting this team, Mike. And I got to say real quick, I'm going to pass it right back. Dan Orlowski, who said that the Steelers could have been 0-6 to start off the year. Mike, he just comes out yesterday and says the AFC North should be considered the Steelers' division to win. He also says it would be a major disappointment if they don't win this division. It's the easiest division to win. This is out of the jackass's mouth.
Hey, this is great. This is sports media in a nutshell. Come out saying they're going 0-6. They're going to lose everything. Now they start winning. You flip it to, if they don't win it, they're a major disappointment. No. Keep the same energy, bro. Keep the same energy. Yes, you can. New data is presented. Change your mind. But to go that extreme from one end to the other, no.
There's a handful of these
it's
guys.
All of a sudden the easiest division in the league. Oh, they should win it easily. It's a disappointment if they don't. I thought
the last 6 months we heard about how we was going to be the team in the basement.
Yeah. So, you can go, hey man, this team surprised me, and if things go well for them, they could potentially win the division. They should be in the thick of it. That's a normal a normal take based on the things.
Oh, we got Naked Derpy. You don't want to miss that, everybody. Did everybody just see Naked Derpy, or is it just me? So yesterday we had the pimp on the back and Mike's neck. Today we have Naked Derpy. I don't know where the hell Browns Week is going, guys. But let me
jump right to the board. Right to the board. Go.
Get to the board.
Now. Let's go.
I don't know if I can go on. All right, let's get to the board, everybody.
Oh, fuck.
Here we go. Good morning to Cody. Good morning, my friend. Great seeing you on the terrible board this morning.
New thumbnail coming out.
That's going to be the thumbnail for this next 6 months.
Good shit.
Was Derpy wearing a diaper? Is that what was going on? I couldn't tell.
I tried not to look down.
It happened so fast.
I tried not to look down. I'm like, what the fuck's going on with Derpy's screw? Then it's like, it's like a train wreck. You can't look away.
All right. I compose yourself, man. Compose. Yes, absolutely, my friend Jamal. Never a problem, sir. I will happily do that, sir. Also, Tortilla, good morning to you. Good morning to Vegas. Great seeing these two great Yinzers on the terrible board on Clowns Thursday, if you will. What up, fam? Also, Vegas says, will those "What's Up" commercials ever not be funny? No, they will never not be funny. They were the best commercials ever. As a matter of fact, I love the "What's Up" commercials, and I would love them to come back. Matter of fact, they came back a couple years ago, briefly, and then went away again. But I love those commercials.
I still catch myself going, "What's up?"
I do too. If I ever have to talk on the phone, which I don't anymore, I usually text. But if I have to talk on the phone, I find myself doing that.
Yeah, I love. You can tell like how old someone is, but if you go "What's up" and they do it back to you, you hit like once you hit someone, I want to say around the age of like 30, it starts to get iffy. I'm waiting for the comments to come in. I just want
you know what? I'm seeing them out of the corner of my eye.
I have my comment section hidden
Let's
right now. I want everything.
let's get there. Let's do this because again, I'm seeing a lot of stuff that I can't wait to get to, and let's get to that point. So
Oh,
excellent motion pictures. I'd always like to say welcome back to you, my friend. Great seeing you on the board. He says you better win the next 2 weeks division games, and you can continue to lead the division. Also, you're going against bad teams. Good teams beat bad teams. You know what? You're right. We got to win the games that we have to win if we want to be considered
Yep.
a serious team in the league. Also, I do want to say this motion pictures as well. You got one thing that you have to consider. A lot of people are already counting the Ravens out, and I refuse. And I refuse to count them out because, again, they started off their season with the Lions, with the Bills, with the Chiefs, and with Houston. And again, the only team that's the oddball will be the Browns, which would be the team that they beat. So again, motion pictures, the Steelers will be playing Detroit and Buffalo, and again, I always argue that the Ravens will be playing the Jets and the Vikings and the teams that we just beat. And so I think this thing evens itself out eventually. There's no way. I've never once since 1996 have counted the Ravens out. They're just a team. They find their way back into things like we do. They built this franchise. They built this team very similar to the Steelers to compete with the Steelers in the AFC North. And again, I've never seen these guys fold up and play dead, especially so early. I've seen them start 2-3. I've seen them start 2-4. This team always finds ways to rattle off wins. I can see them winning 7 out of 9 games at some point as the schedule goes on. Once they get healthy. Again, yes, the defense isn't great, but you know what? There's teams that don't have great defenses that do wonderful and do good things all the time. So again, I refuse to count the Ravens out. There's so much football left. I understand everybody's excited. I'm excited. We're sitting in a good spot. We have a good team. We've improved. We're moving in the right direction in a lot of areas. But again, still, we've only played four out of 17 games, and there's a lot of football left. As a Steeler fan, of course, I'm going to be optimistic. Yes, we want to win. Yes, we want our team to be great. But at the end of the day, you got to look at things realistically. And again, the Ravens, they generally don't roll over and die, certainly this early in the year. So I'd be very, very surprised if things would continue this way as far, Mike, as things being handed to us, opposed to, really fighting a tough AFC North battle.
Yeah, because how many times have we seen the Steelers start like 1-4 and battle their way back into contention? Battling for playoff spot and then beating the team who's leading the division at that point. So I don't want to count them out just yet, but I'm close. I'm close. They're holding on by like a couple fingers off that little cliff, like you'd see in the cartoon. If they lose to the Rams, which I think is a very good possibility, that might be the death nail in their coffin. But if they can get that win,
you don't think they're beating the Dolphins? You don't think they're beating the Jets? You don't think they're beating who's the other team? New England. You don't think they're beating the Bills? I'm sorry, not the Bills. You don't think they're going to beat the Bengals? You don't think they're going to beat the Browns? Mike, they have a lot of teams that are going to be very winnable games, especially for that team. Again, we have to consider that there are a good team. This team was considered, one of the favorites to go to the Super Bowl in the AFC preseason. I don't think that's the case right now, obviously. But again, this team is very, very. It's a good football team. Does the defense scream what it did in 2000? Absolutely not. But at the end of the day, it's a good football team, and I still think that these Jets ain't beating the Ravens. I still think that the Dolphins ain't beating the Ravens. I think that there's teams like out there that have a lot more problems than the Steelers do. And the Ravens do. The Ravens do have the pieces. Once they get their shit together and get healthy again, I think they find ways to win those football games, as they always do.
They do, but we went through their schedule yesterday, and it figures after the show, this data comes out. The Steelers right now, we have like hardest schedule, blah blah blah. We have the 26th hardest remaining schedule yet. Our opponents have combined strength of the schedule of 452. That's their winning percentage. Baltimore's right above us at 25th. Their strength of schedule is a combined winning percentage of 455. So it's kind of even down the stretch. But I think right now, though, it's combined. Like our easy opponents are the Ravens playing twice, the Browns playing twice, the Bengals playing twice. Those are division games. You can never count those as gimmies, throw the records out the book. So it might be a slight lean towards the Ravens, and the Ravens team really doesn't quit. But
we got Buffalo.
They have a shit ton. They have a shit ton of injuries, and can they overcome them in time? Can the guys come back healthy? And they do come back healthy with these hamstring injuries. We've seen guys come back and then and then exit the lineup. Lamar, can he, once he gets back, stay healthy and keep going? And that's good. They have a lot of injuries over there. That's the, even before they started losing guys to injury, the defense wasn't looking that good to where, yeah, they were playing these really good teams, but even then they would find ways to win those games. They haven't this year. So it's like injuries, I hate to say it, luck.
Even if you have a team that's considered elite, like Baltimore was in the preseason, in the offseason, those teams sometimes lose to the other good teams because at the end of the day, the Chiefs or the Ravens had to lose that football game. At the end of the day, the Bills or the Ravens had to lose that football game. At the end of the day, the Lions or the Ravens had to lose that football game. And unfortunately, the Ravens have been falling short, which happens, which shows me that they're not as good as they usually are. But again, there's nothing that's telling me that this team is going to fall to the Dolphins, the Jets. Again, all these teams we went down, we certainly have 5 games that I would say would be tough games outside of our division remaining. And as we went through the teams yesterday, Mike, I think Baltimore might have 2. Again, I think this thing evens itself out. This is why I find it so important to win these games that you have to win. Because let's say you drop this Browns game later on down the road, you don't want to be heading into that last game of the year with that Ravens game meaning something when you could have totally skated past that and that game not even mean anything. Now we can play the Ravens. We could sit our players like they've been doing to us the past couple times, in the end of the year. And that would be, the most best case scenario for us. Plus, Mike, that would also show me that we did advance and improve past that 10-3 point, which I think a lot of people could look back to it and kind of use that as a monitor, Mike, because again, you had Russell Wilson, who hasn't won a game. You had Justin Fields, who hasn't won a game up in New York. And here we are. We have that opportunity, Mike, to do good things. So looking at that 10-3 by those 2 quarterbacks, I think that's kind of a bar that we should have to look at. And I think that it's an obtainable bar. Nonetheless, Mike, it is a bar starting this Sunday against Cleveland down on the North Shore. This is where it all starts. If we're not sitting at 4-1 on Monday, I'll be very surprised. And I got to be honest with you, if we're not sitting at 5-1 next Monday, I'll also be surprised. But again, Mike, to say that this is a 10-0 pick by NFL.com, I think that's crazy. I can't believe nobody took the Cleveland Brown defense.
Yeah, because I can make an argument to myself in my head. I have been all week because I've been going back and forth like how this game can fall to the Browns' favor, and that's not even like the Steelers choking. It's just that defense making plays, and their offense getting someone falls down in the secondary, and boom, next thing you know, there's a touchdown that can swing momentum, or a guy, their running back who's been breaking some really good long runs, finds a seam against us. There's little plays here and there, like 3 or 4 plays a game. That's all it takes to swing the balance of a game one way or the other. And they have just enough guys on offense. If you get them the ball, they can do it. And we know how good that defense is. So an argument can be made. I don't think the Browns are going to win, but you can make an argument for it, and it can be a convincing argument. And you don't have to stretch logic or reason either for it.
Mike, let's talk about a couple of things that the Browns did in the past 24 hours. The Browns, Coach Kevin Stefanski comes out and says he was surprised. He was surprised by Flacco going to Cincinnati. Can you imagine being the Browns coach? I mean, at the end of the day, you chalk it up to the Browns doing Brown things, but at the end of the day, guys, the head coach who has to put a winning team on the field with what he's given didn't know that Flacco was even dealt away to Cincinnati. He was one of the last to know, as a matter of fact. And Mike, I got to be honest, if that's not Browns doing Browns things, Kevin Stefanski surprised that his backup quarterback, who was his starter, again, Dylan Gabriel, say he gets, he gets hurt in the first drive of the game. Say he stinks and they want to bring in somebody else. They have to go to Bailey Zappi because that's the next step, Mike, where again, you could have always went back to your veteran and Joe Flacco and been able to rely on him to do the little things on the field that a veteran can do. Now they don't even have that, Mike. If this is not the Browns being the Browns, again, Mike, Kevin Stefanski surprised to find out after Joe Flacco is being moved.
Yeah, which is wild because they were, like you said, they wanted Flacco to be their backup. It came out, a couple days ago, Stefanski was talking about Shedeur Sanders, like, he might not be the number 2 because we want him to be comfortable once he gets in there. He's building his way up. We want to have a specific game plan for when he plays, and that's a different game plan from Dylan Gabriel's game plan that we would install for him. So we don't want him thrust into that spot right away. We're moving guys up in order as they're progressing, actually kind of like a smart thing you do. Don't rush them into position. And then their GM goes and trades away their backup quarterback. 3 days before kickoff, to where, like you said, one injury away. We got to have this guy come in. Now you're gonna rely on Bailey Zappi or a Shedeur Sanders, who, like you said, like they said, they wanted to tailor the game plan for his specific skill set at this point in his career. You can't do that now. It's so stupid. It's so typical Browns. Like, I get the idea of like trade them. We're gonna go with the young guys who we got, but having that safety net right there, I think it's stupid. You just move up one spot in the draft order, or you gain an extra draft pick. But
Mike,
it's so stupid. So stupid. It's
the board, Mike. Before we do that, I just want to say this is the current draft order. The right now, if the draft was today in Pittsburgh, that we're going to have here in April, the Jets would be the number 1 pick. Cleveland would be the number 2 pick. The Ravens would be number 3 overall. Miami would be 4. The Saints 5. The Raiders 6. The Tennessee Titans, who just got their first game last week, they would be 7. The Giants would be 8. 2 New York teams in the top 10. In the top 8, as a matter of fact. Cincinnati would be the 9th team. And Kansas City, the Chiefs, would be the 10th team to pick in the draft if it happened right now, Mike. That is 3 of our division teams in the top 10 of the draft. So that shows you how things are going. But Mike, let's get to the board. A lot of messages, and I don't want to leave anybody out. Plus, I see Phil the Steel down the road on the messages. He goes, shush and get to the terrible board. So you ask, you shall receive. Phil, here we go. Vegas says wide receiver screens were damn near our only pass play in high school, but our main wide receiver, Quincy Harrison, was dope. He ended up running back at USC instead of playing football, though. He was running back at USC instead of playing football. Quincy, let's see. Vegas also says Vanilla Thunder's Cam got hit with a finishing move, but kicked out. And I do want to say, Mike, it is nice to see Vanilla Thunder back today.
It is the as that Mike guy was saying, he was calling it a pimple back there. Nah, it was an infected love bite from my favorite lot lizard, Cinnamon.
Corey says Vikings pass rush has been great so far, so I can see why Gabriel was able to get a little rhythm going. Hasn't been great so far. See how Gabriel could get a little rhythm going against Minnesota. Let's see what he does with rotation of Highsmith, Watt, and Herbig. That's right, guys. We are getting healthy, so we will have a couple more of our starters back, which is a good thing. Thank you, Jamal. We appreciate that, brother. He says, hit that like button, everybody. Corey also says not to mention Harmon, Hayward, and Black. I got a little bit to talk about Cam Hayward in a little bit as he takes another day off yesterday. I know that he usually takes Thursdays off, but he put all zeros up across the board in the game against Minnesota. I want to talk about him, who did take extra time off in the preseason as well. We'll get to him just a little bit. Mike, Cam Hayward again yesterday took the day off for rest. Cody says hard to measure almost because almost never happened. Mark Malone says Magnum. He said he would have handled it, Mike. He said if he would be playing in these first 4 games, Mason Rudolph, he says this team would still be doing pretty good.
Oh, Jesus Christ, my camera. I knew Mark Malone would say that.
Okay.
Mason's his guy, but I could make an argument for 3-1 with Mason, but I think 2-2 would be more likely. But they wouldn't be embarrassing losses. Echelon
Motion Pitcher says trade for a wide receiver. Believe me, motion pitchers, you're really preaching to the choir. If there's anybody for the past 2 years that's been lobbying for a receiver, you're looking at him, man. I really just don't get what's going on, and I would feel a lot different. I'd feel a lot better if we had another body. And there's a couple things that came up in the meantime we'll get into shortly, Mike. Again, the Dolphins, we like Tyreek Hill, but they're gonna keep these guys. They're gonna keep Jalen Waddle. I know that Hill went down, and we did mention Waddle the other day, and a few other names. So we'll get into those just a second because we did reach out and talk to somebody. We'll get into that shortly. Phil the Steel says, "What up, Dom Yinzers? Goldilocks is back. Here we go. That's right.
Hell yeah, brother.
Looking good there." Vegas says, "In Magnum would still have enough time to give a woman a swimming lesson in the ocean with that mustache, man."
Wow.
Jamal says, we're working on it. Okay, he's talking to Echelon. Let's see. Phil the Steel. Hey, freaking chirper. I think he's talking to Derpy. Where the hell's Derpy?
Derpy has never come back.
Somebody better check on him.
No, I'm letting it roll.
Let's see. Jamal says, I did hear Moot's lack of production was game plan, and they plan on using him a lot more this upcoming game. One thing that I really think is going to be interesting, talking about guys that don't get a lot of passes thrown to him. I was reading something this morning about Spencer Anderson, Mike. He has a dream to catch a big man touchdown. And he also after in the same conversation, he came out and said, we do have some things in the work that I can't tell you about till after the game. So it just makes me wonder, are we going to get one of these big man touchdown catches in the end zone? I would love to see it. If Spencer Anderson.
Yeah, you've been tackle eligible type plays, a little bootleg, ain't no one going to cover him. I mean, you see it occasionally. Teams try and get their big guy who comes in tackle eligible, see if they can swing him open somehow. So it wouldn't surprise me if we're cooking something up for him.
And the thing is, if you bring him eligible so many times, people almost forget that he could be a receiver. So if they kind of keep continuing what they're doing and how they bring in Darnell Washington and bring Spencer Anderson as an eligible receiver, you could slide that in eventually. Because if you do it so often, well, they don't pass to this guy. They're doing it for blocking reasons. Slide through into the end zone, touchdown pass. I can see it. I can see with Mr. Aaron Rodgers back behind throwing the ball around. I really can.
You throw opposite his side all the time. So coverages and pressure, everything slides one way. He can sneak out.
Mike Vegas is asking, what would the record look like if they didn't trade George Pickens? I don't think it would be any better or any worse. I think that
I think the offense would be better, but I think it would be the same.
I think it would, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. The record, I think the record would be the same, 3-1. Again, if everything else was the same.
Yeah,
because you got to figure the Seattle game we lose by 2 touchdowns. Yes, it was a Caleb Johnson F up, but at the end of the day, Mike, you lose a game by a couple touchdowns. Let's say George Pickens could have threw an extra touchdown in this game or been an extra touchdown in this game. You're still down a touchdown. So I'm saying 3-1. But again, Mike, as you're saying, it would be a totally different feel to this offense.
Yeah, it'd be a whole hell of a lot different feel to the offense. But yeah, I think that Seattle game, everyone just came out flat. Like I said, just go back and look at Aaron Rodgers' face right before kickoff.
Do we have to?
No, he looked like he wanted to be any. So it looked like he had a bad trip. Maybe that's why Broderick Jones is now his smelling salt supplier.
Corey Beaver says we are trash on the road on short week. So if we don't win Sunday, we're going to be up. We're going to end up 3-3 by the time we see Green Bay. Green Bay is no slouch. So that's a toss-up. We could end up 3-4 if we aren't. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. This is not your dad's Steelers. This is not Ben's team. This is a different team. And albeit we do have a good quarterback in his 40s, that's not ideal. But for the Steelers, it was the best move we could have possibly made. And again, Mike, I feel that we're going to have a good team. I think that we could be as good as the 10-3 start team last year. We've got different pieces in place, better pieces. So there's no reason this team can't be a decent team and make a decent run at it. I think if somebody could beat Buffalo in the second round of the playoffs before we have a chance to play them, I think we have an even better chance. Come January. But still a lot of football to be played between now and then, guys. Vegas says yes, Coach. Yes, Coach Tallman did say that. Tortilla says if Dano we're going to win. If Dano we're going to win now, that means we're going to lose. Tortilla follows it up by saying he could have at least waited till we were 5-1 to say that we're going to win the division. I mean, that's what here's, guys, 3 wins is far from winning a division. So again,
you haven't even played a divisional game yet. At that point, so you don't know where you stack up in your own division. You can kick ass outside your division, but how are you going to fare against those guys who know you inside and out?
And again, we are doing well outside of the division. We're 2-0 in the AFC East. We won the game against Minnesota. We didn't play 2. Yeah, we've only played the one game against the NFC North. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're losers in the West.
Yeah, and then we lost the one weirdo game. So I'm cool with that, guys. Let's see. All right, guys, we are right around the part where Derpy was naked. He looked like Baby Huey.
Oh, man.
Let's see. Vegas. Hold on. I still have one more. Vegas says, if these experts just say whatever they think, we'll get the most clicks regardless of how they believe it or not. And unfortunately, I think that's what's going on anymore.
That's what a lot of places are anymore. It's just hot take after hot take.
Speaking of hot take, I wish we had the picture, the still frame, because I would put it up while we're reading these messages, but we don't yet. Derpy did show up naked for some reason.
Cool. If the
He-
channel's not here tomorrow because YouTube decided we were showing porn, thanks,
Yeah.
Derpy.
Baby
Been a ride,
Huey.
brothers.
Vegas says, what the fuck was that? Mark Malone says, good Lord. It never went away. That was the thing. It stayed up there so long.
Like, I was like shook, dude. I froze. I could not get up to the controls fast enough to get it away. I'm like, gentlemen,
I thought,
I was like Chris Jones watching Trevor Lawrence waltz into the end zone.
I thought,
I
why
didn't
is he
know
not
what to
turning it
do.
off? Why is he not turning it off? You know?
I'm
I mean,
just
we're all just sitting there, our mouths hanging wide open. Let's see. Tortilla, I'm just jumping ahead real quick here. He says, yo, Derpy could play left tackle. And then Phil still goes on to say, that was Derpy. No. Mark Malone says Peach's strap-on was in his ass. You know it was. I don't want these messages to stop. My God. Tortilla
For
says
the next
Derpy.
hour. Let's just talk about this.
Tortilla says Derpy's never coming back now.
That's what I'm worried about. But I'm still going to keep making fun.
Well, I mean, if it was any of us, come on, you know.
Fuck, if it was me, rip me. I'd come in and join you, brother.
I mean, we're not all Greek gods like me, but come on.
Well, half of that sentence is right.
Also, Corey says that was the internet equivalent of watching someone crawl out from under a rock. I love it. Let's see. Beep, beep, Richard says. Field of Steel has a bunch of eyeballs and says, what the fuck? Oh, there's Derpy. Derpy on the board. He says, I hit the wrong. Derpy, it's all good, dude. Come on. He actually sent me a message off the air. He says, I'll send you my pics in.
Yeah. What kind of pics?
I don't know, man. But also,
Derpy.
Jamal says, that was sick, Derpy. Let's see what else.
It raises a lot of questions.
There's a lot.
Like, does he sit there and rubs his nipples, and that's why we can't hear him? He has his mic muted because he's rubbing his nipples. Or is he cranking one out on the hog?
Phil says Derp's milkshake is better than Vanilla's. We might have to have some kind of a pageant on the show to see who has the best milkshake, I guess you could call it. Vegas says, go for a walk or do some sit-ups or eat a salad every so often. You look like you have given up Derpy. You're too young to have that look.
Wait till you're in your 40s, brother, to get this physique.
Jamal says, disgusting. Vegas says, Ravens had a tough, they sure did. They had probably the toughest front-loaded schedule I've seen in a long time. Let's see what else. Field of Steel says, that's not a chirp we hear. That's Derps farting. I'm sorry to see those messages go. I got to be honest with you. I'm really enjoying that.
I mean, I can go back to the episode and find it. We can put it up there and just talk.
We will. I mean, we'll play with it in the future. But as of right now,
I ain't playing with nothing when I'm looking at that picture.
As it is what it is. We do have to get back. Corey says also we're 21-0 at home and versus Cleveland in the regular season. Aaron Rodgers is undefeated against the Browns, so it sets us up an upset special. What's your record? What's our record against rookie quarterbacks? 26. 26, what was it? 26-6? 26
somewhere in that range.
So that's just another great number that you could just add on to what you're saying, Corey. I couldn't agree with you more. Everything looks like it's going in our favor too much. I've seen Steelers lose these kind of games before in the past, and I hope that doesn't happen this week because there was a lot of things that does point to that, saying that, you know what? And I also say, like 21 wins in a row in Pittsburgh against the Browns. I fear it has to end at some point.
It does have to, yeah.
I mean, even what do they say on White Man Can't Jump? Even the sun shines on a dog's ass sometimes, which would be appropriate for the Browns. You know, that this one thing, like this team tied us to start the season a couple years ago. This team beat us last year in the Snow Globe game. Keep it ugly enough, keep it scrappy enough. I think the Browns can probably pull this off in some capacity. Yeah. Again, that's what we do. That's what a lot of AFC North teams do, Mike. We keep it scrappy enough and we can win games, these one possession games that we win a lot of.
Yeah.
That's the kind of game that I hope we don't have against Cleveland, because I think they could win that kind of football game.
They can, and like perfect example was it week 2 against Green Bay, week 2, week 3, whatever week it was, when they beat Green Bay. They made it an ugly game. Green Bay was, a preseason favored amongst some people to go to the Super Bowl or contend to make it to at least the championship game for the NFC. And they went in, and I don't know if they laid an egg or Cleveland went in there and played
Handled
a
their
tight
business.
game, handled their business. Like, hey, we know what we have to do defensively to keep it close. That's what we're going to do. Just give our offense a little bit of an opportunity. And that's what they did. And who's to say they can't do it again? So, to say that, this Browns team is terrible, it might be a bit stretch. I think they're a very if Cleveland had a competent quarterback, I think they would be a decent team. I think that's fair to say.
Jamal says, man, you can't listen to anything anyone from ESPN says. It's all propaganda. I agree with you 100%. and I don't, believe me.
All narrative driven.
Let me move up a little bit here, past all the derpy. What up, Cody? Always great seeing Cody. Vegas says, we watched them miss the playoff 2018 after starting 7-2-1. I think that was the Cleveland Browns tie season. Phyllis still says, on my Hawks especially, you're going to see, I'm going to be honest, versus Poopers and a rook quarterback. I got Watt and the Steeler on his picks. Okay, gotcha, my man. Sorry about that as well. Cody says, easy win this weekend. Going to be the first non-nail biter of the season, 145-3. You know what, Mike? My prediction is this. I'm going to say 24-10 Steelers. If we could win that kind of game, if it's not an ugly one-score game, I think we win 24-10. Let's see. Vegas says, remember to set your fantasy team's lineup before the game today. Yes, get your picks in. Don't forget to get your CBS picks in as well. I think there's just a couple people last night when I did my picks still does not have them done. Get them started by tonight, because we do have the Eagles at the Giants on Thursday Night Football starting at 8:15. Let's see. Phil is still saying 10-6 to Cody. Also, Corey is saying, as long as we're 3 games ahead of Baltimore when we play them, it would take a lot of pressure off, and then we could just play the game and enjoy the rivalry without anything being on the line. I agree. I want to, I want to be in a position where if I lose that game, we still have a couple game lead. That's best case scenario. And again, you play differently. You could do things differently if that's the case as well. Cody says this. He says, can't bet on Penn State. I'd rather bet on the Raiders beating the Bills. I just seen there's more problems. One of their players got charged with homicide or something for a car accident. I don't know what the story was, but I seen it in the paper this morning. Oh, Penn State having all kind of issues up there.
Fuck you, Cody.
Corey says the pressure will be on them instead, and we know how Lamar performs under pressure. Phyllis Steele says Matt Canada 2 better be ready. Vegas says losing would be a really bad look, seeing how we were coming off a bye. Exactly. There's so many things in our favor. That's the problem. If we lose, it's going to look real bad, and people are going to start saying, "See, I told you the Steelers weren't going to be good." Oh, yeah, no, you didn't. You said we were supposed to win a division after you already said we were going to start 0-6. So whatever you say is really friggin' relevant, according a lot of this shit on the media here. He follows it up by saying, well, this will be a really bad look. Off to a bye week versus a team that just played in London with a quarterback making his second career start, and it's at that's what I'm saying. Everything about this game, it just screams trap game to me. Because again, everything points to we should win easily. Phyllis Steele says, Coach at Vegas, Coach better come out with fire schemes. Vegas says, would Canada's O work in the CFL? I don't know if Canada's O would work in high school.
Probably not.
Cody says the last game we played against the Browns, we won 27-14 with Russell Wilson. It was an easy win. The first game of the year, not so much. Of course, we lost the first one, but you're right. We did beat them the second time around pretty handily. So again, I don't think that that's why I say, Mike, I see about 24-10. I think we could, if we play the way that we all want them to, I think they win this game by a couple touchdowns. I really, truly, honestly do.
I don't know. I think it's going to be a tight game.
Every game can't be a one-score game. That's my point. There.
It can't be. It can't
Listen,
be, but they have been. I mean,
listen,
look what
you
they
don't
did to
want
Green
every
Bay. And Green
single
Bay
one
has a
of your
better
games
offense
to be a one-point game, because that's telling me something about your team. If I'm playing a team and I'm looking at their schedule and all their wins are one touchdown or one score games, that tells me something. It tells me they're not an elite team. And if we're trying to be that next level team, you have to beat somebody by more than one score, throughout the season. And if who's better than one of these Ohio teams, Mike? We have to beat one of these two Ohio teams by more than a one-score game if we want to be considered some kind of next level, whatever we think that we're going to be. But if we do want to keep moving in that direction, I think you have to win eventually by more than one score. Otherwise, again, you're not much of a threat. You're a team that's kind of hanging in and winning games, by this, by that. You're never going to strike fear in your opponents, especially when you start playing the better teams, if you can't win a game by more than a score.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying, but Green Bay put 27 up on the Lions, 27 up on the Commanders, and then they can only score 10 against the Browns. And I think we can all agree that
you
Green
only
Bay
play
has
a
better
team one
offense
time every
than
4
we do.
years.
So
You only play a team every 4 years.
Yeah.
You don't know that team very well at all. As a matter of fact, I'm sure preparation isn't as much when you do play a team that you play every 4 years, because you just don't. I don't know, but all right, point taken. I do agree.
Yeah. And I don't disagree with you. I want them to win by at least 2 scores, but I just don't know. Just going by the trend of the Steelers' offense,
give us a 10-point win. I'll take a 10-point, just something more than one of these games that we luck out where we,
a 7-point win wouldn't be bad either. A touchdown like 21-14 wouldn't be bad.
I don't like that. Mark Malone, my man. What's up, Mark Malone? He says, "What the fuck was Derpy doing under those sheets?" Man, and he had to have no shirt on, and he had to be in his underbreeches, and he had to be under the blankets.
I want to know what that jar of mayo was for.
No, you don't. That wasn't mayo. Vegas says, "Do you really want to know, Mark?" Mark Malone says, "Midgets and strap-ons, I'm guessing, but I do wonder." Vegas says he ran track at USC. He wasn't the running back.
Okay.
Spencer Anderson at tight end 10, Mike. Tight end 10. There you go. Boy, if having tight ends was a thing, Mike, we would certainly be leading the league.
I will shit myself. Spencer Anderson gets a touchdown this game, and he will have more touchdown catches this year than Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith.
Oh, shit.
At this point of the season, I've fucking laughed my ass off. I'd be on brand for Artie Smith.
Cody says, "This board is depressing with all these." Yeah, no, I hear you, man. Corey says, "My next question is, do we start Warren at running back, or do we ride the hot hand?" I say we start Warren. For a couple reasons. I mean, obviously the most recent tape Cleveland's going to look at was the team that they just played against, the Vikings, and they're going to look at our Vikings tape. And fortunately for us, it was Gainwell that had a good game. So they probably know that Warren will be starting. But I think that obviously, again, the most recent tape, go with your starter. I think, Mike, you have to go with your starter. He runs a different style. Run him, and if he doesn't work, then you change it and break up the running time between the two running backs. I think that's more effective. But I think ultimately, because Jaylen Warren was the starter initially, I don't think he loses that position this week. And I think Jaylen Warren starts. But beyond the first couple plays of the game, who knows? I think it could really go anywhere because Gainwell was so productive last week.
Yeah, and they're not afraid to yank a running back if they're not being productive.
Yeah.
So I think Gainwell's going to get his fair share of carries and receptions too. I think they're going to need them both against this defense because, like I said, man, they give up like 75 yards, I think, a game on the ground, best in the NFL. So they're gonna need them both to try and get anything going.
I'm going to grab a couple more. We're going to take a little halftime. Like, I'm going to give you some more information about the Steelers here in a second. Guys, Vegas says Johnson clapped his hands and jogged to the sideline while the entire Steelers universe was like, what the fuck? What are the odds? He has a career as good as Barry. Well, you know what? Barry Foster had 12 100-yard games just a couple years later. It was shortly after. I don't remember if it was a season later or what it was, but he had 12 out of 16 games. He had a 100-yard game. So Caleb better get on the horse if he wants to have that kind of start of a career, I guess you could say, a small career, because once Barry Foster went to Carolina, he wasn't there anywhere as productive as he was here. Let me see. Cody says this. He says, we could lose the rest of our games. We suck. we lose the rest of our games and win the division, Mike. Is this what you're telling me? The Ravens are so bad.
Yes. We can go 0 for whatever here on out and still win the division.
Mark Malone says, I guess we know why Derpy's camera is always off. Motherfucker can't stop stroking it long enough to even put on clothes at high fucking noon. Mark Malone, I really knew that he would get into the
he won't stop. I love it.
This is the day that Mark Malone
and this is the day, like John's not even here.
I know.
This would have been a day.
But you know what? They're killing.
Oh, no, he is here. He is here. I finally see him now.
Listen, I'm not upset at all with the board. I think the board was amazing. But I really expected Mark Malone. I thought, man, he's probably just salivating over this. Weirdly enough to say and think, but there was Derpy. Titus Kitchen, what's up? Great seeing you back on the board. He says, Cody, you suck. Vegas says, is Derpy part of the Clump family? Maybe the Vanilla Clump family.
Did anyone ever see Dodgeball? At the end, when Dwight goes into that deep depression and he's sitting there eating all the greasy food in bed, that's what Derpy looked like. He looked like
I want to throw a wrench at Derpy's face. Remember on was it Dodgeball? They was throwing wrenches at each other and shit.
Yeah, if you dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Jamal says, just saw a quote from Roman. Let's see. Corey says, I'm starting to wonder if that beeping in Derpy's pocket. Maybe the beeping in Derpy's pocket pussy is dying. It's perhaps I think is what is being said. It's on the internet. It's never going away.
It is not.
Derpy's going to be eternally remembered.
Hell yeah, brother.
But this is why he has to get back in. You got to kind of redeem yourself. You got to be like, look, no, this is who I am. You know.
I'll be fucking owning that shit, man.
He said the clumps. He's a vanilla clump. Fearless Steel said, Mama Clump. Derpy. Jamal says, Sherman. One of my favorite movies ever. Of course, the clumps. Beaver says, Corey Beaver says, I think they'll keep it close, 17-6. And I'll take an 11-point win. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to expect a 34-3 win. Just give me something more than a one-score game. I will be satisfied, and I think it just makes our team look better, and it's it's showing us that it's a step in the right direction. Like, because most wins that we've had over the past 4 seasons have been one-score games. Come on, and I want to get away from that team.
Yeah, and you have like on paper 2 really good defenses. So I wouldn't be offended if it's a low-scoring game because, like I said, 2 really good defenses, and they can keep both offenses in check. I think we have the better quarterback and better skilled players to capitalize in a game like this.
Mark Malone saying 38-13 Steelers. Cody
if that happens, I'm pinching my nipples live on air.
Ben Stillers is what Cody says. We were just talking about Mr. Ben Stillers. Jamal says, am I able to pick the game, save it, and come back and pick? Yes, you are.
Yes, you can.
I was kind of wondering last week. I thought that might have been what happened. Maybe you didn't know that. But yeah, you could pick today's game and then go back whenever and finish it. If that helps, definitely. FESPN, I couldn't agree with you more. Who said 0-6, the world's biggest kebab? You know what? It wasn't the world's biggest kebab. It was Orlovsky, I think.
Mr. Run out of the back of the end zone.
I think that was who it was. I'm pretty sure Titus says, don't live in your fears this game. It will be a blowout. Jamal says this. That was my score prediction, 24-10. You know, that's what I think I'm going to go with. Looks like a bot right next. We're going to jump past the bot. Cody says, that's a lie. KC did it all last year and only lost 1 game. KC, they every game was so weird last year for them. They didn't score over 31 points as the number 1 seed in the AFC. To not score over 31 points all season long for a number 1 seed. KC, they find ways to win. Again, I think they're feeling the effects of that, Mike, because I think over time they started losing bigger name players. The defensive players started going away. Offensive players started going away, and they kept finding ways to win with Mahomes and Kelsey. I think you get to a certain point where you just become a more beatable team because you don't. They were living off these crazy wins, Mike. This team found a way to win, as we did, but just more impressive, I think. And of course, I think they were still a better team than we were. But I do like they weren't that good last year. Again, if maybe there was a little bit more talent in the AFC, maybe somebody else could have been in there taking on the Eagles in the Super Bowl. And if Baltimore didn't choke and all that kind of fun stuff. But again, like you don't score 31 points all season as a number one seed. That's that's kind of telling. Also, I'm telling you guys, easy win. And I hope you're right, brother. I really do. John, my man, Big John Stud, middle name Mud. What up? He says KC won 13 games by one score last year. The odds caught up with them. The numbers always do. Jamal says Rodgers never lost to the Browns. Let's not make this the year of his first time losing to them. I couldn't agree with you more. And again, this just kind of, to me, is just another thing you could throw into the trap game argument. I don't like it. John says Las Vegas makes money because the odds always catch up. Yeah, absolutely. They they have a whole system based on it. Any news on Calvin Austin III? This is what I got, guys. I did say I was going to take a little skip in the message action to give you some information. Like, this is what happened yesterday at practice. If you want to know our injury situation, our injury report from yesterday, did not practice Jalen Ramsey, Calvin Austin III. Of course, we all know that the x-rays came back negative on the shoulder injury as of Wednesday. Calvin Austin III and Jalen Ramsey, who did not get Tomlin didn't say they couldn't play. They weren't going to play. There was a chance, but neither of those guys practiced up till Wednesday. So do what you want with that information. Also, Slay and Watt, they took the day off for rest. Skoranek left practice. He's sick, apparently. He left practice with an illness. So an already, yeah.
He's sick of you talking shit on him.
Well, if you do something, it's our underwhelming wide receiver room outside of DK Metcalf. He's a part of that. But you know what? A lot of people were saying don't count him out. He did miss practice yesterday because of his illness. Highsmith did miss practice for rest. JPJ and Jalen Warren were both at full practice. And finally, Cam Hayward. Cam Hayward taking another rest day after putting up all zeros across the stat board on the very last game that we played, not to mention coming off a bye week. Okay, just throwing that out there. A little extra time for the team to have off. Cam takes the extra day. And Alan Saunders, he's on there arguing with people. They're like, what's Cam missed all preseason. He missed this. He's already missing this. We had a bye week. He's missing a practice. And Alan Saunders is like, well, he is one of the top best 5 defensive linemen in the league. I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
The guy, it's football. You go to practice. That's just such stupid shit. These guys don't need bullshit. If they didn't need the practice, we'd be undefeated. We'd be believe me, we'd be a lot better if they didn't need the practice. Get out there, go through the fucking reps and get your fucking time in and get ready for the team that you're getting ready to play, you bastard. I'm just saying, come on. It isn't like we're overly just killing everybody. If we, we're winning games 56-0, yeah, by all means, take some time off. But this team can certainly improve, and we certainly need it to, and especially the defense. I'm sorry, the run defense, Mike, we definitely need these guys to be stepping it up. So again, you know where I stand with that. Cody saying he hasn't practiced all week, talking about Calvin Austin. Yes, to this point, he did not. I don't know what's going on today, but as far as the last I know, he has not practiced.
Yeah, it's looking like him and Ramsey aren't going to play.
And I'm fine with that again. Yeah. I want these guys to be better for the long haul. Plus, if you miss the Browns game, Bengals game, maybe you could be all right, so.
And then there's 10 days off from the Bengals game to the next game. So
I expect these guys to be back for Green Bay and Indianapolis for sure when they're needed. Hopefully we could stay healthy. Otherwise, dodgeball movie was my shit, man. Also, Cody says, how does everyone say we're going to beat the Vikings and then say, we might lose this one? I think the reason for that, Cody, is it's a division game. Nobody knows us better than the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens and the Bengals. And with that being said, the Browns have a really tough defense. And if you keep it scrappy, you keep it low scoring, you keep it ugly, Mike, this was our strategy over the past few years. And I always said that if this team could keep it scrappy, low scoring, and make it a 1-point game, we have a chance. That, for that reason, is why I think the Browns have a better chance than the Vikings. You play a team that you don't see more than once every 4 years. The preparation is different. You don't know this team. And again, you're not going to put all the resources in to those 3 days of practice for a team that you're going to play again, once every 4 years, compared to playing the Browns, who again better than everybody, and also it goes the other way. So again, I think that's what it is. I think Minnesota's a better football team, but I think Cleveland is just built more to beat the Steelers. Vegas, Derpy was sitting there. These Derpy comments keep coming up. Derpy was sitting there looking like he was contemplating his next move in work, perhaps.
Leroy Jenkins.
My God, yeah. And then he just sat there and stared at like nothing happened for like 10 seconds. It was just you were just taking it in.
We all froze, man. It was like, what is this happening?
That's all you knew to do. That is all you knew to do was freeze.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here we go. Mark Malone said it was some funny shit, man. I remember being in this Zoom meeting of about 60 people. Some dude put a camera on just like Derpy. Big dude, big moves, naked. He never came back. Let's hope that's not the case.
Let's hope that's not the case.
I think that makes the show better. I really do. I'm happy that it played out that way.
Shit.
I know Derpy don't want to hear that, but I'm happy that it played out that way.
Oh, me too, man. It was great, man. It brightened my mood.
Yeah, it really did. Cody's saying easy win, 196-0. He's gonna
love Cody's optimism.
He's gonna be well over 1,000 by the time we get to the end of the week.
Is Cody stealing Jamal's blunts? Because if so, I want some.
Well, I don't know. But Jamal did say, I didn't come here to sit on the sidelines and watch the team decline. I know I can make a difference. Give me a chance. I will fight for every catch. I will create separation on every route. Okay, so this is what he was saying about Roman. He caught a Roman quote here. Follows it up by saying, I won't prove I'm worthy of this jersey. Roman Wilson said this. Follows it up by saying, heck, I was so high I overlooked the other games and didn't make a pick. It's all good, bro. It really is, man. It's all in good fun. That's the thing too. It is a lot of fun. We don't give people a lot of shit. The person that does lose, as I did last week, is the biggest loser that week. And we own it. Whatever. We move on. We move on.
Yeah.
Cody says Derpy looked like Cartman from South Park, but acted like Stan's dad, Randy. So I think Randy's the best character on the show anyway.
I didn't hear no bell.
Randy Marsh, I think is his name, right?
Randy Marsh, baby.
We're talking about yes, correct. Practice.
We're talking about not a game. Not a game.
Jamal, get your asses to practice. Come on, you didn't just get more money or anything. You didn't just sit around and beg money because you're one of the best players. Get out Alan Saunders, like one of the 5 best D linemen, zeros across the board. Do you think his counterpart Myles Garrett is putting up zeros across the board? Again, I know he doesn't have great weeks every week, but again, this is somebody that you're comparing by position, basically.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I don't see Sexy Dexy taking a day off after a
no,
game.
Or Jalen Carter. I mean,
Jalen Carter's young. He should be out there every day.
Absolutely. It's come on. It's a team sport. Everybody should be out there. If you think you're too good, move the hell on. That's just my opinion. Corey says, I think Cam is taking rest days to record his what's it called? Everything but football or some shit. That's what he should be focusing on. Everything but football right now. Let's give him more money. Maybe that'll fix it. Tortilla says Rooney ain't gonna talk to the team like he did against the Vikings.
They should just replay that speech before every game. It worked.
Hey Jen, what's going on? Nice to see Jen on the board. Always great seeing Jen. Mark Malone, you missed hell of a show early. He's not lying.
Go back and watch from the beginning, Jen.
He's not lying. Vegas says Corey Beavers take a shot after each time Cam says and you'll be dead. Jen says, I'll make sure I watch it. Yeah, do make sure you watch it later. You're not going to be disappointed. Derpy made a very special appearance. That's what Vegas is saying. Also, Tortilla says, if we lose this week, Mike Tomlin has to wash Derpy's back.
Oh, that might be against the Geneva Conventions, my friend. That might be a step too far.
You thought Boz having to shave James Harrison's back was a bad deal. Wash. I think shaving would be even worse. Let's see. Corey says this. He says, I don't even watch his podcast. It seems like he uses it to ask his teammates incriminating questions. He just asked Thornhill who he thought would better between I did see that And of course, Thornhill did say TJ, which, doesn't surprise you. But again, for a podcast named Everything But Football or whatever the hell it is, it's kind of, again, just kind of indicative of just his play anymore. I don't know. Again, he had a good season last year. I give him that. Take the last 5 years, zoom out a little bit, and give your opinion on what it is that you think. And again, he got his paycheck last year, Mike, his raise. So naturally, he did play better. So we'll see if that picks up this year, at least to some degree, because he did get a little raise. Maybe he'll play a little better.
He got a little raise.
A little raise. Cody said the Browns haven't scored over 20 points in 6 games. That offense can't. The offense can beat us. No, they suck. 315-10.
I like it went from 196-0 to 315-10. Like we just gave them pity points. I like it. And speaking of little raise, man, did anyone get a little raise when they saw Derpy?
Nobody got a little raise when they saw Derpy. God, I hope not.
For the class, just asking.
There's the one person that doesn't. One person doesn't comment. They're just sitting back. They're like, "Oh, I got a raise from Derpy." That's all right. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that if that's your thing. And then also here catching up, Corey Beaver's facts. Vegas says that you sound like Izzy Cody, and then also Vegas says Miles got the MVP due to you ain't shitting.
Boo! I scared you.
PFF was calling him the MVP before the season even started last year. You knew.
You knew, yeah.
You knew he was going to win that. You knew he was, Mike. There was not even the guy in. I don't even want to get into him right now. But guys, let's move forward. And one more thing, real quick, Mike. The trades. What's going on with the defense of Cleveland and Jacksonville? Was there a trade made yesterday? That I kind of scratching my head about this. But Mike, tell us about that real quick before we do move on.
The Browns traded defense. Oh my God! Let me start over there. The Browns trade cornerback Newsome to the Jacksonville Jaguars for another DB. I forget his name off the top of my head. And draft pick swaps there. I think Newsome's salary was part of the reason they did it. Free up from space, because I think he's still a decent corner in the league. And the guy that they got, he's younger, signed longer, but has been inconsistent this year with Jacksonville. It made more sense for Jacksonville to make this trade, because if Jacksonville thinks they have a team to compete, might as well go out and get a guy who's a lot better than the guy we have now. The Browns, if this kid can figure it out and turn it around, good. It's a good long-term move for them. But in the short term, this is just raising up the white flag. The Browns have mailed this season in.
All right, there you go, guys. That's up to date on the Brown scoop as we do head forward to Brownies weekend. Only just another couple days away. We're going to be down on the North Shore getting ready to take on the Cleveland Browns. Mike, I do want to say before I do wrap up the division talk, before we get into all Steelers, Flacco is due to start Sunday. They are saying that he will be starting. So if there was any question on whether we would see him next Thursday, he is getting the nod to start this week for the Cincinnati Bengals, Mike. And Lamar Jackson is still not practicing as of yesterday with the Ravens. So that is the scoop in the division.
Tyson Campbell is the corner that they got
Tyson
from
Campbell.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his name. My bad.
Let's see. Also, Mike, and one more thing about Cam. Doesn't he always talk about being a leader by example? So we should all take extra days off every day if he is leading by example. Okay, I'm done with Cam. I just wanted to get that point out there. Mike, this is some Steelers scoop. The Steelers they brought in a pair of free agent linebackers for tryouts yesterday, Mike, from Las Vegas, a former Raider, Michael Barrett, and then also, this name is interesting, Mike, Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah.
You remember he was number 8 overall in the 2020 draft out of Clemson, highly touted at the time. Has played for a handful of teams now. I think he played for Arizona for 3 years, played for the Giants for 2, and then had a most recent stint in Green Bay. But Isaiah Simmons, Mike, if you go back 5 years, he was a big thing. And him and, again, Michael Barrett, both at camp yesterday trying out for the Steelers. Mike, Isaiah Simmons.
I say has never lived up to his potential.
Right.
Intriguing guy. He had 2021, 2022, his best year in the league. About 100 tackles both. And then after that, he's been hit or miss. Very, very hit or miss. Just he has talent, just for some reason can't live up to potential. I think he got switched to safety the last 2 years with the Giants, so they're trying him in different places. for a depth guy, if he's practice squad eligible, yeah, go ahead and do it. Like I'm all for it because he fits the kind of the mold of our top two linebackers, speed guys, not real big, take blocks head on type of guy. So if one of those two would go down, you can slide him in to be a backup there, and you style of play stays. If you can get him for a practice squad, cool. I don't think he's going to come in and be a starter or some guy who's going to be suiting up every week, but wouldn't be a bad buddy to have just in case something bad happens.
Mike, we also signed to the practice squad. We did sign linebacker Jacoby Wyndham.
Mm-hmm.
So, we are, and then that guy, that other, I forget what his name is, Radiker or something like that.
Yeah, he got picked up.
We did lose him. Like he was somebody that was here briefly in the practice squad. So linebackers, for whatever reason, is an area of activity as far as the Steelers right now, and certainly with the practice squad. Mike, let's talk about, while we are talking about the defense, I want to jump over to the offense briefly here. The Steelers also, of course, Olave is somebody that we've been talking about, Mike, but what about this name that just popped up yesterday? I'm seeing, what about Rashid Shaheed, wide receiver? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, from the Saints?
Yes, because
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I got excited.
Because no, I did too. Of course, Olave is the person everybody's talking about, and I do know that the Patriots, like us, do have interest in Chris Olave. So it's not a given. I mean, if we get to the bye week or they get to the point where the trade deadline's coming and they think, okay, we won one game, we're going to make some moves. Olave obviously is somebody that we talked about. I do know the Patriots also are making calls about him, but I do also know that the Steelers have they reached out. They reached out to New Orleans about wide receiver Rashid Shaheed, Mike, who is a receiver / return man, who I think could probably be a pretty valuable piece of the puzzle. Granted, the Saints don't win the next 3 games, and I believe that they're contenders by November. Mike, I think he would be he'd be a nice pickup.
I wouldn't mind it. He has yet to play a full, make it through a full season.
Hey,
he fits right in.
Is there anybody on this team that's played a full season? I don't know.
I think Zach Frazier. No, even he missed time. God damn, I can't even call him out. Cam played a full season last year, so we got that going for us right there. Maybe those rest days.
He didn't miss any time.
I don't think he missed any time last year.
It was the year before.
Yeah, he wouldn't be that bad of a guy. He
can return, Mike. We could use the returner, an extra set of hands at wide.
Yeah, and right now he's the Saints' leading receiver.
I know.
He's 22 catches, 288 yards, 2 touchdowns.
He'd be a nice
and he got some speed to him. He's not
going to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, and if they can get him, be a nice guy next to DK, and him and Calvin Austin are kind of interchangeable in their skill sets. So nice. I wouldn't be opposed to getting him. He's not your true, he's a number 2 guy, but he has the build of a body, someone better than Calvin Austin if DK would go down. Somewhere like someone like his level is probably what we are going to get. And when healthy, I think Rashid, he's a above serviceable wide receiver in the Steeler offense. I think,
let me put it to you this way. It's the NFL.
Yeah.
You watch football. Everybody on this board watches football. Everybody that's watching watches football. Our wide receiver room just is not a good wide receiver room. You could like the scrappy Skoranek. You could like the former hero of a game, Scotty Miller. You could like the undersized Calvin Austin. You could like Roman Wilson, who's been injured for forever. But it's just not a good wide receiver room. Yes, DK Metcalf, he's a top 10 easy. Probably better, but it's just very unnerving. It doesn't make me feel like my team is as good as it could be by the looks of this wide receiver. And, you can like these guys. That's fine. But at the end of the day, it's the NFL. This is the top of the top. It's the crop of the crop. These guys that play this level of football are the best. And again, it makes me a little unnerved, Mike, and it doesn't make me feel that we're giving our everything.
Yeah.
When you put that wide receiver room out there, again, DK Metcalf, I'll take him every day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
But the other 4 guys, very underwhelming to me. I think CA3 could be doing things if he was beyond the number 2 receiver, where you're not necessarily, making part of your game plan. Have him make, getting catches and stuff when you're planning for the other 2 guys. Again, Mike, I just kind of feel that we're behind the 8 ball, and it's Arthur Smith offense, blah blah blah, which is fine. I get that, and I hope that it continues moving in the right direction. But January, things like this matter, and if you have the better players, a lot of times you win the football game. And I'm just saying, our wide receiver room is very underwhelming, in my opinion. I hope I'm wrong. I hope these guys come out and do great things moving forward, but I don't think that I am. Again, we all watch football. We watch a lot of it. You just feel that this wide receiver room is that there's something missing. And if you're going to win a lot of football games in this league, I hope I'm wrong. But come on, let's be honest with ourselves, right?
Yeah, like I'd take him. Like his best year in 2023 when he was the most healthy. He had like what you would consider a number 2 type number, 719 yards, 5 touchdowns, 40 some odd receptions, 15 yards a catch. There's potential there, but like you said, can he stay healthy? If he can, cool. But like at least here again, like we won't be counting on him to be the guy, kind of like they are down in New Orleans with him and Olave. He can just settle in a nice rotational role with, Calvin Austin on the outside there with DK Metcalf. And, as you can see, we don't use a lot of wide receivers, but, more weapons, the better.
That's all I'm saying.
And he can come cheap. You don't have to go out and go, oh, we're going to give away Alex Highsmith. We're going to take a step back on defense to maybe move up in the offense. Here, you can probably trade like a draft pick for him and get him and then keep your team where it's at, where you want to go, and you're enhancing instead of taking a slight step back for a slight step forward. At least here you can stay defense stays the same and take a little uptick on the offense. And I think that's all the offense need is just a slight uptick. We're getting closer and closer to some of these teams on offensive scoring, and a guy like him could, open things up on the offense a little bit more for some guys, or just another option out there. And, a couple more points a game. This offense is a top 10 offense. 3 more points a game. It's literally 3 more points a game. I think we're a top 10 offense.
You're right.
Statistically. So a move like this, it's not earth shattering. It's not, you're going to go, oh my God, from the high heavens, we got this guy. No, it'd be a smart football move to get someone like him. Not if we get him, cool. If we get someone similar to him, who can give the type of production he has throughout his career, that I think would be good.
I listen. All right. Now that we're on the offense a little bit, Mike, let me throw these numbers out there. Pittsburgh running backs. I'm sorry. They have accounted for 63.9% of the team touches. That is the highest share for a backfield in the NFL, Mike. So again, things are working the way they are. I understand that. Our offense is looking pretty good. It's going to. Again, 3-1, a bunch of 1-score wins.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if you want to move beyond that, I think that you again, for the sake of just having more weapons, I think should be the number one argument that people would make. And again, I'm just not overwhelmed. I'm very underwhelmed by this receiver room. And if these other receivers are out there doing things at any point for the first 4 seasons, people will say, yes, Scarani scored the very first touchdown of the year. But beyond that, there was a flop in a couple special teams plays. Those things are good, but for your receivers, that's not necessarily good. Again, Scotty Miller, very minimal. I've seen him.
He hasn't done anything.
Nothing. And Roman Wilson, same thing. We're sitting here scratching our head. We're wondering. So again, and Calvin Austin is what we're clamming for. We're hoping, and we want him to come back because he's our number 2. And again, with his size, he's limited to a degree, Mike, especially when you play, more rangy, long wingspan kind of DBs, in today's league. I think that kind of brings him down a notch, which is unfortunate. But this is where we're at, Mike. We do have to get ready to start our picks shortly. Let's just wrap it up. What you got to say about the offense, and then we're going to get through the messages, and we're going to get the picks because it is Thursday.
Yeah, like you said about our running backs, they're being productive when they get the ball in their hands, but that's too much. Jaylen Warren is by yardage and I think receptions by yardage, he's our number 2 receiver. Like that wouldn't be so bad if this was like a Le'Veon Bell type situation, because he's tearing it up on the ground and teams are game planning for him, and that's
If it's a West
other
Coast,
guys
West
open
Coast
for you.
running gun,
Yeah,
running,
yeah. Yeah, but for it's another wide receiver doesn't have to be a true what you would call a number two, but someone who a little more pedigree than what we have here. Because Calvin Austin, if he was able to stay healthy, I think would be good, but he can't stay healthy.
I would feel a lot better about this team if we had different players in that wide. And listen, I'm not saying anything bad about these guys.
I like them, but I think they're all a step above where they should be on usage.
Yes. I mean, come on. They're not even getting looks. This is the room.
Yeah.
Even Jericho Cotchery was getting looks back in the early 2000s, when we were making runs for the Super Bowl. you got to hit these guys. If you're not, I don't know what they're doing. You're paying them to be there, but they're literally doing nothing. Let's get back into these messages, Mike. Quite a few came up, and then we're going to get into the picks because it's Thursday, and we don't want to miss out because, again, tonight, the Eagles travel to MetLife Stadium and to play the Giants. So here we go, Mike, back on the board. Vegas says this at 13-15-42. He says, Mean Gene said that to Psycho Sid when he messed up the words. You know what? I could actually have that conversation all day. I remember Psycho Sid and Mean Gene and all those great times with wrestling. Cody says this. Cody says this is going to be our first blowout game of the year. Pittsburgh is going to stomp on the Browns like Penn State got stomped last week. Is Vanilla Thunder?
We didn't get blown out. We came back and made it a one-score game, I believe.
Does Vanilla Thunder get as upset as Mike does about the Penn State loss?
Yeah,
okay.
Brother, we were both big Penn State fanatics.
Okay, just making sure. Let me go right here. There we go. Tortillas is not quite a safety, not quite a linebacker. I got an idea. Play him at tight end. We need tight ends.
11, baby.
We do need the tight ends, guys. Cody says, Dylan Gabriel reminds me of a Tua. I wouldn't be surprised to see some fingers curled up this weekend.
That shit was gnarly. I thought he died on that hit.
Who would have to hit him from the Steelers to make his fingers curl?
Deshaun Elliott.
Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt, Deshaun Elliott.
Tortilla says the real question is Rashid or Olave fast enough to catch up to a moving train? Compared to what we got, I don't know, man. I think we need more weapons. That's all. He follows it up by saying, "Don't disrespect Miller Light Skin like that." That's a good name for you, Mike.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a damn good nickname.
Cody says I like Austin and I like DK, and I like him too. Don't get me wrong. I do like Calvin Austin. I just, again, it just feels like there's more to be desired. There's more left that we could do or have done.
Yeah.
Certainly in the past 2 seasons to make the situation better. Vegas says 4 of the wide receivers run sub 4.4, but 2 of them have less than 4 catches. Mark Malone says, I think only DK and Calvin Austin have long speed. Mark Malone follows it up by saying the other 2 just get off the line super quick. Ortiz says, no way Roman gets off the line quick. Mark says he and Scotty get up to speed quick, man. Tortilla says, I agree with Scotty. I just haven't seen it from Roman. Miller Lightskin will be good this way. I'd be surprised. I don't know if even in past situations like where, we have guys injured, you're still not even seeing some of these guys. They're not getting targets. They're not even I don't quite get it. But again, I'm thinking like they say, Mike, trust the system. They have an idea, plan what they're doing. Arthur Smith's offense. I'm trusting the system.
And 2, like we have to think too, like the time to throw, how fast Rodgers is getting it out. Like he's just finding his guy and getting it to him right away. Very rarely do you see him sit back there and scan the whole pocket and then find someone else. I think part of it, like we've talked about all season and off season, the offensive line is playing a huge part into the receivers' numbers being down because it's usually that first read. If it's not there, boom, I'm going down. I'm going right to Jaylen Warren for my check down.
And you know what else? Also, I was thinking about that last night. You know how he does, like he just, he knows. They say when a quarterback knows where he's going, you could watch his eyes and you could follow his actions. But he doesn't. I mean, he knows where he's going. He knows where he's going real quick. And as the ball gets snapped, he already has the ball out to that wide receiver.
Yeah,
I think that play could certainly enhance somebody like Mason Rudolph as well. Let's just say he had to step in. Just seeing Aaron Rodgers do those kind of things, Mike, and to learn the little things that he knows, I think that can improve these backups games too as well. Seeing just how Aaron does things And as I said, Mike, he knows where he's going. Let's just say
Yeah.
on one of them quick pass plays, he knows he's going out to DK out on the left there. Bang, snap, throw. So I think all those things kind of work in the big picture as well, Mike, because these guys are sitting back watching him saying, oh, wow, I was
Yeah.
never coached to do that. Wow, I never.
And that's that.
It's
Seeing
yeah.
it, trusting what you've seen from game film and studying it, like, okay, I've seen this coverage, this formation, this guy move like this. If I move my guy like this, I see what they're going to do. I'm 99% sure that spot's going to be open, and trusting what you are seeing and what you're processing pre-snap, and then in that split second of once that ball snapped, trusting your eyes to like they're moving where the historical trend on film says this is what's going to happen, and I know where my guy's going to be and going there. And that's a trait. Like, the difference between a starter and a backup is just being able to do stuff like that consistently. And I think that's why you see people just be backups, because they can see it, but it takes them a whole hell of a lot longer than someone like Aaron Rodgers, Big Ben, Mahomes. They see it right away and they fuck it, I'm going right there.
There's a reason they were the guy. Those players were that guy. Vegas says Aaron did miss Ben on a pass late in the Vikings game that would have sealed it.
He did.
Mark Malone says Roman doesn't look to have long speed. That 4.3 by 40 is due to him getting off the line. He's telling Tortilla. Cody says maybe they don't want to pay receivers because they don't throw to them. Yeah. Again, it's kind of a head scratch, right? I'm not sure what the hell it is that's going on. Tortilla says that Mark can't get off the line quick if he isn't on the line. Vegas says Jericho had Cautry had 10 touchdowns when that's right, he sure did. I like
Holy
Jericho
shit.
Cautry.
I didn't know. I know he was productive that year he was here.
And we know every once in a while we get a guy from the Jets that just really you love, like James Ferrier. Come on, he's one of the most beloved Steelers ever, the leading tackler in Steeler history. Every once in a while, you get a diamond from that rough, man. And,
he was seen as a bust in New York, man. We're like,
oh,
we're gonna put you an inside backer.
And I do want to give and I do want to say, as far as the game ball today, I don't want to present it just yet. But I want to say that information that Vegas just came out with certainly puts him in the front runners, Mike, to remember a 10 touchdown season like Jericho Cautry. Vegas, you are a nominee for today's game ball on the terrible board.
And that puts Vegas on my friends list. That puts him on Schindler's list.
Okay, back on Schindler's list.
Yeah.
Tortilla says like in the slot or just on the field. He's asking Tortilla. Okay. Oh, geez. Look at this one. Jabal says, oh, please, no watching those fingers curl freak me out, man. You ain't shitting. He says, like The Exorcist, right? Right?
Uh-huh.
And then they left it on there. It was almost like the Derpy when when we seen him earlier.
Everyone was frozen in the booth.
Everyone was frozen in time, and you're just sitting there looking at them gnarled fingers. That was like seeing Derpy in his diaper.
I thought Tua was throwing up gang signs like, bro, man, you didn't complete a pass. What are you doing?
Exactly. Mark Malone says, yeah, but A-Rod can damn near put someone's eye out with it. Absolutely, for sure. Tortilla says, at Mark, just on the field, I think Roman could be good, but I just need to know he exists first. I'm still not sold. He's is he a clone? Is he AI? What's going on with him? And then also, absolutely, Larry Foote, dude. Absolutely remember Larry Foote, Larry Foote, 50.
Oh my God. He was a thumper. Liability and coverage, but a fucking thumper. I love me some Foote.
Tortilla says the guys seen they got AI celebrities now. Could Roman Wilson be an AI football player? Could explain why his Michigan film was so good. You know what? Good question, man. You never know what the way the world is going nowadays. And Mark Malone says, damn, come on, man. The game ball goes to Derpy.
That same wavelength, brother. Same wavelength.
That might be Vegas. I'm fighting for you, man. But they have a really good argument. Mike, let's get.
You got to read Corey's comment. I'm sorry.
I was in the middle of typing when Derpy popped up. My hand quit working. My first thought was, who approved this filth?
We know why your hand quit working. We know where that hand was going, brother.
Mike, we got to get to these picks. If not, we'll be here till halftime for the Thursday night game tonight.
And the way today's going, hell yeah.
And I do want to just say that, yes, we are all one. I couldn't agree with you more, Jamal. And I think that message needs to be spread a little bit more across regularly. I really do think that, people. Guys, but let's get to this games of the week, Mike, it's time to do our picks. The NFL does start tonight for week 6 on Thursday Night Football as the Philadelphia Eagles take a trip across the harbor to take on the Giants in New Jersey. Derpy, due to embarrassment, he did send a text and say he is sending his picks, so they will be coming over. Finch will be sending his picks as he is busy today. Mike, it is time for you. No competition. No, it's just your picks. No funny business. No Derpy strategically making his picks off of yours.
Yeah.
Let's get into it, Mike.
Let's do this.
It starts tonight. The Eagles at the Giants, 8:15. Mike, who do you take in this game?
I'm taking the Eagles, although, like, you can make an argument, like, Eagles, Giants could be the Steelers-Brown. This could be a trap game for the Eagles. The Eagles, yeah, they're 4-1, but they haven't looked pretty in some of their games. Giants, they're getting kind of spunky with little Scadaboo and Surfer Dude at quarterback. It could be an upset alert here, but I am taking the Eagles. I think they have enough to overcome the spunkiness of the Giants.
And you know, one other thing I was thinking, Mike, you could always look at the Buffalo-New England game when you say, how in the world can the Browns beat the Steelers? Just look at that Buffalo-New England game, guys. This is a New England team that we beat, and this is a Buffalo team that we haven't been able to stand on the same field as for quite a few years. So just, you got to watch them games, Mike. So you got Philadelphia on the road in this one. Let's get to the next one. This is the 9:30 a.m. game on Sunday overseas. The Broncos at the Jets, Mike. This defense by Denver seems to be the real deal. They have the leading sack guy in the league. They have a lot of good things going on. The Jets have not won a game. But this game also, Mike, as in New Jersey, who wins? Denver at the Jets.
I am taking the Denver Broncos in this one.
All right.
Even though, they're the way. Well, damn, I didn't realize this was the overseas game.
No, that's right. It's not in Vegas. It's it's overseas.
It's overseas shit. I'm still taking the Broncos.
I think that's a good pick, Mike. Seattle, the first game on Sunday afternoon, 1:00. Seattle at the Jaguars.
This is going to be a tough matchup, but I like the way the Jags are playing. I think they're hitting in a little stride there, got a little hitch in their giddy up. Give me the Jags in a close one over the Seahawks.
Next game, 1:00 game, the Chargers, Mike, looking to bounce back against a struggling Miami team in Miami. Chargers at the Dolphins.
I am taking the Chargers in this one. They
have no running backs left.
Yeah, but that Dolphins team sucks.
All right. The next game, Mike, a game that could be very big for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, the Rams at the Ravens. Mike, Matthew Stafford, who leads the league in passing yards, I do believe at the time, is going to be making the trek to M&T Stadium in Baltimore. Mike, who wins this football game? A Lamar Jackson-less Ravens or a Matthew Stafford-led Rams?
I'm taking the Rams, and I look for Jared Verse to be well acquainted with Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is just going to see Jared Verse in his dreams after this game.
These two teams are a team that the Steelers lost to a few seasons ago in a 3-game losing streak. Once you take out the New England Patriots, Mike, the Cardinals and the Colts. Colts were just a quarterback away for a couple seasons. I thought so.
Yeah.
And Mike, we said that because they've been beating us and playing us good and winning games that maybe you think that they shouldn't have. Mike, this Colts team sitting at 4-1 with their new leader, Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones. Mike, they're hosting the Arizona Cardinals. Who wins this football game?
Give me Tyler Warren in the Indianapolis Colts, baby.
All right. Let's see. Next on the list, Mike, also 1:00, the Carolina Panthers. They'll be hosting the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are kind of a schizophrenic team. I think they're going to lose games that they should win. They're going to win games they should lose. They even had a tie in there. Like Cowboys against this Carolina team that just keeps finding ways to win football games.
Yeah, the Cowboys are one missed field goal away from being the same record as the Panthers.
Yeah.
But I hate to say it, but give me them boys. I think they're going to pull it out. I think George Pickens is going to have a good game against the Panthers.
All right, Mike, this next game on the list is a couple teams we were talking about for a different reason. The Patriots, who do have interest in these New Orleans receivers, as we also do, Mike. The Patriots are traveling down to Louisiana to play the Saints. Who wins, the Patriots at the Saints?
I'm taking the Patriots over the over the Saints. The Saints just do not have it. That's a terrible team there. Give me Patriots, who are maybe some of these experts were right, a dark horse to make the playoffs this year. So give me the Patriots. They're looking good. If their running back can hold on to the ball, they might be.
And there's
4-1
no sign
at
that
this
could
point.
happen.
I know,
There's
right?
literally no sign that could happen.
Like I'd just be giving make the rookie running back your number one. He hasn't fumbled since like high school.
In that now you got Drake May as well. You have ways to win football games.
Start him, play him.
Mike, speaking of bad teams, this next game is between a team that just got its first win of the season and a team that looks like they're going to lose a lot of games this season. Mike, the Titans at the Raiders in Las Vegas. Who do you like in this game, Titans or Raiders?
I'm taking the Raiders, but this is a tough one for me because they both suck. But the only reason I'm taking the Raiders is because someone like Max Crosby can change the game and take over against that shitty line at the Titans. So give me the Raiders.
So Cam Ward's not going to stack wins. He's going to take the L.
All right. Yeah. Hey, we ask.
Mike, this first is the 425 game. The 49ers at the Buccaneers. I'm sorry. These two teams, Mike, are looking to have a better season than a lot of people expected.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, the quarterback for Tampa Bay is having, some people were saying, an MVP type season so far. Mike, the 49ers with that defense or the Buccaneers?
This was another tough one because I did not see the 49ers being 4-1 at this point with all the injuries that they have.
Not at all.
The Buccaneers, I think they're a good team, but I don't think they would be 4-1 either. But I am going to take the Buccaneers because you know me, dude, man. I love me some Baker Mayfield, always have, and I always will. And so, yeah, give me the Buccaneers. Derpy's receiver down there is tearing up. So the guy that he wanted us to take.
Yeah.
So, yeah, give me the Buccaneers. This one's for you, Derpy.
Mike, the other 425 game is a game within our division. Now, this team had already lost to one of our division teams. The Bengals travel to Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin to take on the Packers. Mike, is there any chance that the Joe Flacco led Buccaneers could change their fortune this week against Green Bay? Again, an offensiveless Cleveland team did beat the Packers.
Yeah, but that Browns defense stepped up and dominated that game. I don't see the Bengals defense doing anywhere near to that, to holding, I think, the Packers to 10 points. Yeah, give me the Packers all day, every day.
All right, guys, we're getting into the Sunday night game. Like, this should be a good game in theory. I don't know. One of the teams has kind of fallen off. The other team is getting back to where they were last year. Like the Lions traveling to Arrowhead, Missouri on Sunday night, 8:20 after the Sunday review show right here. Mike, the Lions at the Chiefs.
Until the Chiefs actually get a running back, I'm going to pick against them. Give me the Lions. Like, Patrick Mahomes should not be your leading rusher.
Oh, God, no. And you know what? The Lions are looking they're getting better.
They're rounding into form, yeah.
They really are. They're starting to look like the team that they were last year.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, let's jump to Monday night because I love two football game Monday night games. And Monday is no different. We have a 7:15 start and an 8:15 start. Now, granted, the competition isn't what you would like, but Mike, the Buffalo Bills will be traveling down to Atlanta, Georgia, to play the Falcons. And the Falcons was winning games early in the season, Mike, where I was picking against them. It seems like they would always win. I don't know if I'm going to be picking for Atlanta this weekend because the Bills at the Falcons. Mike, who do you like?
I'm going to take the Bills. The Bills want to, get back on track, get the bad taste of that loss out of their mouth. And I think they're going to go out and try and put an ass whipping on the Falcons to try and show, hey, this NFL might be no dominant team. The Chiefs are down. Ravens are down. Look at me. I'm the big boy of the AFC. So look for the Bills to try and run it up this week.
All right. And finally, Mike, the last Monday night game, the 8:15 start. This game is going to be exciting for Tim.
Yes.
The three Gooners, two teams that he loves his Bears. And last year, Mike, the game that they had with the Hail Mary pass that ultimately won the Commanders the game. Mike, the Bears at Commanders, just off of that alone, should say that this is going to be a good game. And but again, Mike, the Commanders, they ended up in the NFC Championship game. The Bears are the Bears. Which way do you go?
The Bears are much improved this year, but I'm still taking the Commanders at home. I think overall they have a better team than the Bears do. But the Bears, wouldn't surprise me if the Bears sneak around like 9 wins this year. Wouldn't surprise me. but I'm taking the Commanders in this one.
And finally, Mike, the Browns, they travel to Pittsburgh. They travel the Turnpike. They come down an hour and a half later. They're here. And down on the North Shore, they'll meet a football team called the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike, I need to know who's going to win and what your score prediction is going to be for this game so I could have a tiebreaker for here on the show. Mike, of course, I have 24-10 is my Steeler winning score. Who do you like in this game, and what's the score going to be?
17-14, Cleveland Browns with an upset.
Mm.
Last second field goal.
All right, there you go.
Shades of like 2 or 3 years ago when they did that shit to us. I'm just having a feeling right now. But come game day, I might be feeling differently. But I just everything that we've talked about this week of the numbers are pointing towards it. The numbers are pointing towards like, oh, this should be the Steelers should win, but it should swing back. I saw what they did to Green Bay. Green Bay's offense is better than ours. I just have a sneaking feeling that it's going to be one of those hard-fought AFC North games that come down to literally the last play.
What kind of game do you see their quarterback having? Because there's sometimes, like a lot of times we confuse rookies, we beat rookies, but on the other hand, there's times that we can't get to a quarterback to save our life.
Yeah.
It don't matter how many people we send, Mike. How do you think the quarterback play of the Browns is going to play out against our defense overall?
Right now, what I'm feeling is I'm feeling he's going to play similar to the way he did against Minnesota.
Okay.
And just not get rattled, just play a smart, safe game. And yeah, I just worry about him. I think he's going to surprise us on some sneaky runs that we're not going to be prepared for. I just have that sick feeling in my stomach right now.
All right, guys.
I hope I'm wrong. Believe me, I hope I'm wrong.
Start getting ready to wrap things up, Mike, as we round third. I'm going to go right here to Vegas, 1336-26. He says Derpy wins belly down. So Vegas is willing to concede that. But we are going to keep that in mind. We do have the game ball here in just a moment. Tortilla says I was at work and heard Derpy's naked and dropped everything I was doing and was skipped back 10 seconds. I don't blame you. I would have too. It's something I've never seen. Yeah, I get you. Also, let's see. Corey says, please check on our guy. He's a Superman fan. Could you imagine if he was sitting there in a Superman costume with no pants on or something? It could be worse, right? It could be worse.
Oh, it could have been a whole hell of a lot worse, brother.
Yeah. Scattaboo is going to have a really exciting 3-year career. Vegas says, Yo, Vanilla, what's the email?
I will type it out in chat.
All right, there you go. Also, Vegas says, hopefully we can last a decade plus now that hitting hard and tackling seem to not be as violent as it used to be. Tortilla says Corey is watching the new Superman right now. Cody says this. He says Jamar Chase shouldn't be your leading tackler. I know, boy. Yeah.
He has more solo tackles than some really good players.
He does. Arizona fined their head coach $100,000 for his altercation with the running back that dropped the ball before the goal line. Wow. Mark Malone says Mike has that image of Derpy in his head. It's got him all effed up.
It does too. I'm shook, bro. I'm shook.
If you could really walk away from this show today saying that you're not shook, I don't know what's going on.
Like I'm chronically online, and I have seen some disturbing footage on the internet, especially if anyone remembers Rotten.com from the 90s and early 2000s.
Faces of Death.
Faces of Death. Oh, I remember being 7 years old. My dad ran that for the kids.
Yeah.
So I've seen some shit, and that's up there. That is up there. One of the most. Yeah, I'm shook.
Cody says I thought Derpy was Bam Margera's dad for a second. I was expecting to see Bam come running and start punching the shit out of him. Get the fuck out of here. What are you fucking doing? Get out of here. Vegas says Derpy can't look at that picture and be happy. But boy, we are. Made me happy, man. What a day. What a show.
It was bound to happen after 800 and some episodes. Someone's popping up shirtless.
Why don't you tell us about the website?
The2dumbyinjers.com. Now, where every page is a picture of Derpy. So check it out, the2dumbyinjers.com. We got the merch store. We got all of our social media links where you can go and see that picture of Derpy. And Vanilla's Thunder's Dumb Thoughts tomorrow are going to be all about Derpy. So check it out, the2dumbyinjers.com.
All right, there you go, everybody. Let's get to the trivia
Oh,
question,
Derpy,
Mike.
we love
How
you.
well do you know your enemy? How well do you know your opponent? As we do on the show, before we're getting ready to play a team, we will have questions about that team leading up to that game, Mike. And today is no different. Today is a Cleveland Browns question, and I'm going to put it to you like this: it's the new Browns again. I'm not going to ask a lot of the old Browns because we're not playing the Ravens. We're not playing that team. We are playing the Browns. So here we go, guys. Mike, put on your thinking cap. Focus for a minute, if you would, guys.
I'm sorry, I had to close the comments.
And everybody on the board and everybody at home. Here we go. Question of the day, Mike. How many winning seasons have the Cleveland Browns had since 1999?
Ooh.
The new Browns, not the old Browns, the brand new Browns, the Browns that we're playing. How many winning seasons does the Browns have since their return year of 1999? Take a minute to think that over, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30-ish p.m. right here on the tube. The tube. Think this out, Mike. I'm going to just grab a couple of these messages real quick so we don't get behind. Figus is showing side titty. And that's my side boob. Corey says when he realized he was on camera, he scrambled so fast. I don't think he scrambled fast enough, but point taken. I seen scrambling happening. I could say that. Let's see. Corey says like he got attacked by a bird. Mike is off again. I don't know. He's been talking for 10 minutes. I don't know what's going on over there. Still no Mike. I don't
My computer is rebelling against because
there she goes. Yeah. Let's see. Cody says it puts the lotion in the bucket and puts the lotion on the skin, or else it gets the hose again. Tortilla says got to put Derpy up on the jumbotron when Renegade starts playing at Heinz Field.
Yes.
All right. So to the question here. Tortilla. He says the gig is up, the news is out. We finally saw Derpy, or we saw all of Derpy.
Oh, fuck me.
All right, question of the day, guys. How many winning seasons did the Browns have since they returned as a franchise, a new franchise, Mike, in 1999? How many times has this team finished with a winning season?
All right.
What do you?
I know Baker Mayfield had one because they beat us in the playoffs. I know. I think Derek Anderson had one. That's two that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm gonna be generous. I'm gonna go with 4.
All right. Vegas is saying 3 at best. Corey is saying I think 2. I remember 8 and 8 and a 9 and 7. Phil still says no googling. Vanilla.
My hands were not.
They just know better. I don't blame them. Come on. Jamal saying 3. Phil is saying 4. And Vegas is saying Photoshop is a wonderful thing. Tortilla saying 5. So a lot of different answers on this board. Mike, let me ask you one more time. How many winning seasons since 1999 has the Cleveland Browns expansion team finished with a winning season? And you're saying 4?
I'm saying 4.
Okay, is that your final answer?
Final answer.
All right, locking you in on 4. Again, a lot of different answers. I see 3, I see 4, I see 5. There we go. All right, so you're locked in, Mike. You're locked in on 4. Cody's saying 3. Guys, here's the question of the day. How many winning seasons has the new Cleveland Browns had? And we're talking about the 1999 Cleveland Browns, not the old franchise, not the Ravens. This new team, Mike, 26 years old already. Can't believe it. How many out of that many years has been winning seasons? Mike says 4, guys. The answer is they did it in 2002, which was the year that we beat them in the playoffs. We beat them 3 times. They had Michael Jackson as a wide receiver. Also, they did it in 2007.
Ooh.
They did it in 2020. and they did it in 2023. Mike, 4 is the amount of winning
Wow.
seasons that this franchise, Browns franchise, has had 4 times: 2002, 2007, 2020, the Baker Mayfield playoff season, and Mike, 2023, they did it one more time. So there you go, guys. 4 winning seasons in 26 years. They're sounding a lot like our Pirates, Mike. So we always compared the two franchises. No different.
Yeah. And I was like, this question, triggered a thought in my head. Like, in that time, I swear they had back-to-back picks where they took Myles Garrett and Baker Mayfield. And I did, like, and they let one go. You could have had arguably a top 10 quarterback, potentially even top 5 quarterback in the league right now, and a top 5 defensive player in the league right now.
Thinking that
and you fucked it up. How that those are 2 building blocks.
I was thinking the same thing. Why was his microphone off if he wasn't over there clicking away? I was thinking the same exact thing. 1 second he was thinking and talking.
Who said that?
The next thing you know, no, you're not taking his you're not putting him on shit or whatever it is list. I noticed that as well. I didn't say nothing. He was talking, going on, and then all of a sudden he went like this, and he came back, started talking, and the volume was gone. Why? Why would that volume have been off in that split period of time if those buttons weren't clicking away over there? But anyway, I'm not claiming, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying I did observe what it is that Tortilla is
who
saying.
Said that? I'm going through the messages.
I'm not telling you. He left. He's gone. I erased it. Let's see. Let me get a couple more here. And Phyllis still says the heading of Derp's photo should read Derp's gone wild.
Tortilla.
And now they have like the AI where you could put a picture of Derpy in and like, he could do shit. So this could be a lot of fun with the new Derpy, the new the day that we had with Derpy today. I think we was all surprised as again. I think we're all kind of shocked and hurt and also
Tortilla, you made the list, by the way.
Discord memes. Phil still says chill. Thank you, sir. You too. Tortilla, he says he looked up. Yeah, exactly. I caught that too. I'm glad you said it because I was thinking it. How do you explain yourself?
Okay, like the desk is wobbly, the wires are loose. You move anything, you hit something, boom! It
all the way up until that point of the show, everything worked.
Oh, my camera's been going out 5 times today. So the microphone.
If it was the camera, that'd be a whole different story. The fact that it was your microphone. Also, Cody says this: if it doesn't scare the other team, I don't know what will. Blew it for Massage Watson. Vegas also says we can see your screen and your glasses, Vanilla. That's true. Just watching them.
I know.
Just typing away about this.
Why do you think I look at porn during the show and give you guys something to look at?
And I do think that is it. Mike, anything before we do start getting ready to wrap it up for today?
Yeah. Please just keep watching the beginning part of the episode on a loop. That's going to get you through a lot of rough times in your life. Just keep watching it over and over and over and over again. Share, clip that part and send it out across the interwebs.
I'll start there. If you haven't yet, hit the like button, hit the sub button, even comment, and don't forget to share. If you're going to share any of our episodes, any of our shows, this would be the one to share with all of your friends as Derpy. We learn a little bit more about our Derpy than we have liked to known. But yes, share this episode and have a blast with it. But also, guys, if you haven't had a chance as well, stop by any of our social media sites. Mike, we are all over social media. You can stop at Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok. Just go in, hit the follow button, and keep up with what's going on with the Two Dumb Yinzers on a day-to-day basis. Also, Mike, I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. I want to say thank you to the board. You guys are always, always, always on top of your game and always making things interesting on the show. And I do want to say thank you to everybody at home or in the gym or in the car or wherever you may be with earbuds in or just watching on your TV. Thank you too. Corey says Mike's reaction is what got me, the uncontrollable laughter. Yeah, no two ways about that, man.
What else can I do, brother?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
It'll go to the good. We'll go to the right cause. Believe me, it's on its way there now. I'm sending it as we speak. Believe me. I also do want to say as well this Sunday. Don't watch the Steeler game without trying or getting yourself a case, a 6-pack of Duquesne Pilsner. Mike and I drink it every week right here as the guys over at Duquesne Pilsner. They do always put in a good word for us in their promotions. They are local right here in Pittsburgh. And as the can says, grab a Duke. Duquesne Pilsner, everybody. Do try it out. And again, if you try it, go out and get you some more. Enjoy the games. And I know that we sure do here every weekend. With that being said, Mike, Thursday Night Football kicks off Week 6 tonight as Philadelphia travels across the harbor into New Jersey to take on the New York Giants. That game is an 8:15 start. Picks are in. Don't forget to get your CBS pick'ems in, guys. Again, the link is just right outside here on our YouTube page. Just click on that. Takes 2 seconds to sign up, and again, costs nothing. Why not take a shot, see what you could do? Again, some good weeks, some bad weeks. I know I had my worst week last week. Hopefully I could get it going in the right direction. But again, all the picks are in. We won't touch them again until Tuesday when everything is done for the week as far as the NFL goes. But I do want to say thank you so much on the board. Thank you so much, guys, for everything today. Mike, while I'm trying to remember if I forgot anything, what do you got, man, before we take off?
God, I got nothing.
All right.
I really got nothing. Derpy shook me. I think we're all shaking. We all came through the other side together. Here we go, Steelers, man. I can't wait to do this again tomorrow, boys.
Cody said he was checking to see if Penn State lost to the Pittsburgh Community College. Allegheny County Community College might get that.
No, we would beat that team. There's no doubt about that.
I don't know.
No doubt about that.
I don't know.
We would handle business.
Also, Corey says now the Derpy has shown his face and then some. He has to be on the camera from now on. No going back. I know that was part of his lore.
I agree. We've seen the worst of Derpy.
We that was his lore. You know, he and we'll see. We'll see how things go moving forward. Also, Vegas says have a good one and all pick all good winners. Exactly. Good luck to everybody with the picks. I hope everybody does well. And I do want to say we'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to get ready to head into the weekend, guys. Get ready to head into the Browns game on Sunday. So we hope to see everybody back tomorrow at our regular time. We could do that. Mike will continue to dig up all the scoop we can on our Pittsburgh Steelers and around the league. And again, if you're into hockey tonight, Penguins take their 1-0 record up against the Islanders right downtown tonight at 7 o'clock. Check that out. I know I'll be watching football, be checking on the Penguins tonight. But again, we'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again. I hope we see everybody then. It was a great show today. You guys are awesome. And Derpy, thank you, I think, for your participation as well. Mike, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Eye bleach, everyone. Invest in some eye bleach.
There you go. Jen, she doesn't know what she's in for.
Poor Jen.
Good luck to Jen. Guys, thank you so much, everybody. We hope to see you back tomorrow to get ready to head into the Browns game. Tomorrow is Steelers Friday. We hope to see you then. For Mike in the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, for myself, the Terrible Board, and the Two Dumb Yinzers, have a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.